Good morning, everyone. Get some charts up here. So the morning slide said about options expiration, and I think I shared this chart with everyone in the room some time ago. It was in the letter the week before, well, this week and last week, but um, well, let's just take a quick look at it. I did a chart of the week on it, everybody. Uh, okay, which thing was it? There we go. So these lines show monthly and quarterly options expirations. The black ones are quarterlies, and the red ones are monthly options expirations. And you can see it goes back. So not all of these are very significant turns. As you can see, some are. This one was kind of flatlined. That one, nice pullback, rise. It was already moving, chop, chop, right? So it was on the way up. Anyway, point being, options expiration is the end of this week. So I think this week, and you can read the chart of the week if you didn't, a little bit about market makers and whatever the expectation for this week would be. They keep it between the S&P 500 between 6,300 and 6,200, which are the big open interest strikes that expire at the end of the week. And then from there, possibly like these turning points, maybe the market goes up a bit or down a bit. It's been in a trading range lately, correcting. Right? This was the day that the market internals hit a mild extreme. It wasn't severe. And I even thought to myself, is that enough, to start a correction? Because it wasn't like really historically really far. Anyway, it's been chopping sideways. And one of the things I covered in the letter was that, probably, I'm sure all of you saw the software stocks. Most saw them last week, and a lot of them got clobbered pretty darn good. And, we talk about accidents when the internals reach an extreme. And so that's an example of, accidents beginning to happen. Good morning, man. And so, like, I think, and we'll go back to the other charts that we look at, SPX. And so I suspect that they're going to stay in the trading range. We'll just go to the spiders like we usually do. And you see they're gapping down, a little bit under Friday's low, which is not a big deal. But Friday gapped down under Thursday's low, but still within the trading range. No big deal. It's just really sloppy. So I referred to something like this as just playing ping pong. And something of significant happens, like a closing breakout above the top of the range or a closing breakdown below the bottom of the range. We'll play ping pong. Individual stocks are going to do their own thing, of course. The markets will probably, I think, because of the options expiration, won't get too far above the range or too far below the range. And should they, after the expiration, based on that chart that I just showed you, it's likely we're going to see some kind of turn. And since it's been going up for a while, the turn, I think, logically would be that it goes down, unless for some reason this options expiration things sell off, and we would have come down here. Then I would think after the options expiration would go up. But look, we got to see what happens here through the whole week. So right now, the bias is trading range. Excuse me. All right. All right. So there's spiders. When the NASDAQ go into some above. Okay, that's interesting, Brett. We'll see. Those kind of things are generalizations. Sometimes they hold true, something to note of, but we always trade the chart. So we'll see what happens here. So SPX, these are the numbers for today. And I think it's gapping down here. So still in the middle of the range. Those are damn close. So I would suggest early on, unless you're adventurous, maybe an iron condor, I wouldn't do either one and see which way things go. So as we typically do, we look for put spreads as prices come down to support, and intraday we look for some kind of an extreme, a wide range bar on the 5-minute where it's going down for a while, maybe a breakdown failure, a tick extreme, or should it go up, getting up there and getting some kind of similar price action in the reverse up at the high. And that doesn't mean these strikes will be higher, meaning if prices were to open up here and rip back up toward the highs, then yes, probably you could do this strike above 6,300, which would be ideal. And the same thing, if it opens here and it spikes down here, you'd say, okay, the call strike was a no-brainer, 2020 hindsight. But if it should come down here and you can get a put strike after a sell-off, that's the idea of doing zero DTE, fade the move at the appropriate time, as long as you can get far enough away. Simple. You got to be on top of it. All right, so there's SPX. Other markets, Qs are gapping down, more tariff, yada, yada, yada stuff. This one's getting, 30%. Brazil's going to get 50% and all that. But overall, the market is just like, yeah, we're tired of it. Whatever, do whatever you're going to do. Let's get it over with. And so, you see the market gapping down. It's really not a big deal. Still within the trading range. Basically ping pong. Now, the weekly chart of the Qs here, a breakout, a go nowhere bar last week, a little doji bar. And so it just marked time. It went nowhere. Which, when we look at a candle like that, we don't read into it something too significant. I mean, it is what it is. Momentum stalled. It's relatively easy to break a prior bar's low when you got a narrow range bar or a high. And so the market has just been resting as this time after making new highs. If it just start to pull back, even after the options expiration, it doesn't mean it's got to be something severe. I think it's something that's going to present us with an awesome opportunity for the markets to go higher, just based on what we've seen happen. All right. IWM looks great. Little extended, had a nice move. Right, cleared the 200. The 50 is pushed, ascending, rising at about a 45. The 20 is rising. The 200 is flat. So moving averages aligned in this manner. I know that there was a correction, and because over here, this crossed up above the 50 and it was flat. The 200 is still flat, which kind of infers that it could go higher. It's not like the 200 is already pointing up and it's been rising for a while. That would be one way of determining that, maybe this rally has been going on too long. But it is at resistance. You're getting close to it, and it backed off from it. So probably needs to consolidate for a while. And where are we at here? Gapping down a little bit. 65-minute is on support, not a big deal. This is the pre-market data. So maybe comes down a little bit more. Maybe there's an intraday buy down here, right? We'll just have to determine that as the day goes by. Bitcoin. Ripping. Backing off, new all-time highs. Here's the breakout. It's higher. Our ETF letter took advantage of this, utilizing what's it, ABKB or something. That woman Woods, her She's got various ETFs that are nice to trade. All right, so took advantage of that. Looks great. Buy pullbacks, right? What else can you think? An advance like this, far from moving averages, that started after a consolidation of that length, means buy the pullback. And we'll see if it pulls back. It could go sideways. Thank you, Dan. ARKB. Okay. Well, the futures aren't going to do much more. Where would put a measured move on weekly of Bitcoin? Well, to get a measured move, you need a correction bar. Well, here is your sort of it's really not the measured move type that I show in seminars, but it's a good catch to think about it like that because things don't always set up in the same way. Usually measured moves occur after an initial move and you get a red bar, it breaks, in other words, a correction bar, and then it continues higher. This was more, as you can see, a longer consolidation, and this gap down reversal, near that bottoming tail bar, confirmed the bottoming tail bar, and the size of that wide range bar, suggests, hey, this should break out. And so when you see a higher time frame like this, you go to the lower time frame and go to the Master Trader website and go to the blog things under my name and look for the one that says tight versus loose. This is a great example of loose getting tighter, and tighter comes before a move. Sometimes we refer to that as the spring being wound. And, no resistance, new all-time highs. So go check that out. All right. The Dow. This, you can see it's really sloppy on the 65-minute breaking support here. A pattern like this, that kind of strength, these lower highs, right, and which should be a lower low kind of a pattern into an area of minor support is going to set up. I say that as if it's already going to happen for sure, but what I mean by that is historically, this kind of a pattern that you see a lower high, lower low after a strong advance, want to buy it. It's going to be your typical normal buy setup on the weekly time frame, meaning it goes up and you have a several bar pullback. Buy setup, or sometimes refer to them as a hook. It looks more like a fishing hook because this just comes down and then it flips back up again. That is near support, near resistance. So you can see, here's your Dow Jones. Sideways is going to open here. So in the lower high, lower low, maybe targeting the 20 MA if it does come lower. So this has been weaker. Well, a steeper angle like this out of a consolidation, a steeper angle like this after, let's say, well, I got an example right here. This up, pullback up, a steeper angle after a continuing advance of higher high, higher low bars, and then it accelerates, suggests the end of the move. This is the beginning of a new move. So unless it comes all the way down here, which obviously it shouldn't do, right? We believe by the pullback. All right, let me continue. Gold going nowhere. All right, trading range, the middle of the trading range, doing nothing. Silver broke out last week by the pullback. Looks great. I'll come in a little bit. Interest rates are moving up. Inflation concerns, tariffs, prices are going to go up. Look, they're in a big, messy trading range here. They have moved up. The markets have held up relatively well. So they haven't had the typical, move lower as interest rates go up. Right? They kind of just brushed it off. Their markets are brushing off this tariff news. And that doesn't mean, as that unfolds, if this was to spike up here, maybe the markets come down. But right now they're in the middle of the range. Markets like whatever. They're not paying attention to that. Other than that, we'll just see, what happens, and if we get more accidents, right? So this is the ETF of software, and if you look at stocks within there, some of them got clobbered pretty damn good, and some nasty stuff. Internals are neutral at this point. They got to a mild extreme and that poke up, and so breadth is backing off. This sentiment gauge is high here, so they really don't tell us much right now. And it's just the charts tell us that markets are probably, and options expiration, you know, expectation is I don't expect a huge downside or upside. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, on Friday we had a slightly bearish bias, so we were tightening some stops. Just got out of some things at profits, so we wouldn't have this weekend gap risk, and that was a good decision. Yeah, Etsy's on my list, Thomas. I think it's in the letter. Yeah. Hey, Thomas, you're either a good scanner or you have our letters, because Etsy is in there, and so is BTU. Yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3. Look at this buy setup. Beautiful turn here. Yeah, I wish it were closer, but it has a void. We're going to do a half a lot. BTU. Yeah, bottoming pattern looks great. We always talk about the tells of when it's right to get into a bottoming pattern. So you had a breakdown failure greater than 100%, little buy setup on Thursday, rally to resistance. So what the tell is this range expansion bottoming tail closing breakout. That's our tell. Now it's ready to go. So yeah, looks good. Alarms, like always, I do first. Yen carry trade. Stratos. I'll let Greg answer that one. I'm just a simple chart reader, so no, I'm not concerned about it because it won't affect my decisions. I did. I know it's totally different than what you're saying, but something I was reading pre-market was kind of interesting. They were talking again about our debt and interest rates, and they said I think it was the credit default swaps have been growing, so that in essence is default risk, that people are saying some bad things are brewing under the hood, and like everybody's ignoring it right now. So we'll see if that plays out, but looks like Trump doesn't care about the deficit, and so, one day it will. All right, we're long TDW and trail mode. I had an alarm go off. I guess I don't know why there's not much volume there. We'll come back to it. CCL we have is a long put. So it's a climb mode and then breakdown. So it's a breakdown following a climb mode with a void. So it's in an uptrend. It's just counter trend trade for swing trading 2 to 3 days. Strato, see Greg's answer. Or Greg, you might have to post that answer on Restream, right? Or I don't know who typed that, whatever.
I posted it in Restream and copied it into the room chat.
Okay. All right, next, this is a topping pattern. So this is a quality topping pattern. Had an amazing run. This was the biggest ugly red bar in the whole move. And now we have a retest of that and a 1-2-3. So my low alarm went off. That looks great. We're going to do a call spread over Thursday's high. But that looks like a, directional, at least with 50 MA, first target. Arm, call spread, over here, 152.50s under Friday's low. My alarm went off, but let me reset it. Looks like it might have bounced back. Oh no, it didn't go up. Palladium, we're in the ETF letter, beautiful trade. We got into this a long time ago, over here somewhere. We've been in this a while. And we sold 1/3, I think. I forget where. Should have gone back to full size. And that's it on alarms. Our ARC B, we sold a third pre-market. Still looks great. I think, it's just a no-brainer breakout. It's like an inverse head and shoulder. Here's your head. You don't get crazy. You got like two left shoulders. So don't get stuck on everything has to be perfect. But that we bought right here on this closing breakout. Oh, the neckline, resistance, rising 50, flat 20. Just total no-brainer. All right, thanks, Alex. Alex talking about the futures on our Paul ETF. And I think there's only one earnings here, fast and all, but that's a gap breakout. Now, Greg's term, loose versus tight. That's loose. That's not tight like Bitcoin. This thing's bouncing all over the place. But it nevertheless is a gap breakout. So it needs to give us a pattern, but it looks good. Let's put fast over here in the bottom right. FBK. All right, I don't see it moving, but it's bullish. All time frames. Kind of a bold rectangle. Well, Alex, this says 1600. Are you sure? That might be after the bill. All right. So fast will watch. All right, firm. It's another call spread candidate, the 70s. A lot of these things that have big runs. Look, this is what we call an accident. That was a beautiful closing breakout. And then range expansion, 180 reversal. That shouldn't have happened. So there's a lot of these things that have run a lot that are turning into topping patterns. Yeah, Tawi's asking about big CPI number, more overnight risk. Of course, yeah. All eyes are on inflation and employment for the Fed. They're worried about Trump's tariffs, showing up in inflation. So that's why they're holding off. So yeah, it's going to be a market mover. Synops, there was something in the news, Synops and ANSS. So Don, I was hoping this was going to gap up to 585, and then gap and crap 30-minute low, call spread, ANSS 395. So they're bullish, but they're extended. Let's see what they do in the first 30 minutes. The USM, that is a 1-2-3, but it's such a big one. I don't like them. Just a plug here might give us a pullback. And pull back into a WRB. Has room, weekly, monthly. Whiskey Bravo. It broke out, deep retracement, bobbling around. but weekly, monthly have room. A multi-year bottoming pattern on the monthly there. So I'll keep an eye on that, see if it can tighten up and give us a pattern. NXT, again, bear gap negated. So this is it's a buy setup and a bull flag. So retracement wise, it's gapping down here 60.59. Retracement wise, I really want it to stay above 60. But if it does, then that's going to be on my list to buy over prior bars high. You got a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. Look at that. That was all-time highs. Next tracker. I don't even know what this does, but it's fairly recent IPO. All-time highs. Looks good. Carvana, I got an alarm. It's another one of these potential topping patterns, although, still above a flat 20. But I got an alarm here at 343. If it breaks down, this is a bear 1, 2, 3, 4. It might get a call spread out of it. This is just my big interest list here. We'll just go up for the remaining 2 minutes here. GFS, I think that was Sam's list. Just bullish consolidation after breakout. But it was not easy finding quality picks, although I think everything we posted is very, very nice, particularly compared to the broader markets. But, I got a smaller list than usual. LII, little 1, 2, 3, I like. Matador, it's at resistance, but a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's oil. So if oil starts to move, this looks great. I'll set an alarm 52.85 or 52.80 is good enough. Broker, I say that is a closing breakout, but it trades so wildly. I wouldn't touch this thing myself. And I mean, day trade would be fine because you got to bend a day base, but for a swing, I'd want to see a 1, 2, 3. Post, I got an alarm at 1665, closing breakout inside bar over Thursday's high. Looks good. Net, we already talked about. My alarm went off. So now let me reset the alarm. Postage low alarm. That thing was a problem child. We only have a half lot. But Google up alarm. That was a put spread. Yeah, Google looks good. Yeah, I mean, it's been in the news lately, causing a lot of these whips, but yeah, put spreads are good, filled. Looks good. Now, Guggenheimer, look at the 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be a directional too. This has room to 190. I don't like trading the first 5 minutes as a general rule, particularly on Mondays, but that looks fantastic. Looks great. Let's see what my put spread was. AER alarm. So I got a lot of alarms going off now. Up alarms. So that is that. If somebody wants to look, AER. It's another topping pattern. But it'd be more of a no-brainer call spread. Man, Guggenheimer's even Tesla on the 15 is moving. Nice recovery of filling that gap. When it gapped down here and was just bobbling around, I had zero bias. I'm like, I was hoping it would do the lower 260 bias. Still, I'd much rather trade Goog. Goog looks fantastic. All right, net alarm triggering, so that was a call spread. Let me check the Goog juice. Whiskey Bravo alarm I mentioned. Look at that Hasse middle chart ad. That is a long watch. Once we're not going to get filled on Goog, at least not right now. All right, Whiskey Bravo. I mean, this could be a home run entry, but I'd rather it close like this first. See if there's any puts to that. Sell the 950 puts. 0 by 25. So I'll put an order out at 20. A BTU alarm. Whiskey Bravo here. BTU looks good. Bottoming pattern. For a day trade, you might even use it, stop pays low, 7-cent spread. So I'm going to bid for it myself. Check puts also. 1450s, 12 by 17 is all. So we got a couple things triggering here. Net, GM, BTU. ITW alarm. I was watching this on a pullback. We need a reversal though, but that's a nice pattern. Break out of, oh no, we're in this one already. My bad. We're in this one already. Okay, so let me just reset the alarm. ITW. I see our Halliburton coming in a little bit. Oh, Alpha Golf. Alpha Golf, I said just buy a half lot. I like this as a core long. Monthly looks great. Let's sell some $9 puts. Ow. We shorted naked puts on this on Friday. And I tightened the stop. Still have an open profit. But don't like the pullback. Yeah, the oil. I saw immediately glance up at my oil sectors. They're coming in a little, but you just got to let it play out. Wow, our 22 puts are spready. 15 by 34. 17. I mean, over 100% spread. Are you crazy? Behind here. That's the Alpha Golf. Look good. I'll record the entry at the opening price. All right, actually, the closing price. Closing 927. Gee. All right, so Google is pulling back. Let's see if we can get a directional entry. Fast looks great. That was the earnings stock, but that's a big bar. All right, Whiskey Bravo. I'll set a new alarm, maybe a 30-minute high, and I'll start nibbling. Whiskey Bravo. Okay. Hmm. If you're talking long, it's too extended for me. Daily, weekly. If you're talking short, still strong. I don't know. It's just not jumping out at me. It's compelling. Yeah, it's just not. I'm not buying extended stocks like that. Yeah, it needs the sector needs to go sideways more. All right, BTU triggered. I ran. Well, that's a bull rectangle. Something's up with it today. Nice 180 reversal coming out of the gate on Monday. Strong. It's strong. Let's see. Triggered and pulled in. See, this is kind of an example why I like waiting 5 minutes. You know, we have a rule of if it hits cleanly, we just go with it. But me personally, I like waiting even if I miss something like Goop. But see, look at Goop. I was so tempted. I was tempted because it looked fantastic as it was rallying. And now it's a big old topping tail. But the put spread is a go. Let me see where that is now. Put spread's totally fine. And this is the only way we're going to get filled is on a pullback. So 175, 170. We're still not getting filled. There's not enough premium. That's like 37 cents. I want 50. So these oil stocks, yeah, they're not going to trigger. Wow, this thing is strong. MP. I had that as a naked call under Friday's low. So as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to hit. Lily over last week's high, put spread. ARM, I gave us a call spread. I don't know if it got filled, but that's weak. Let me show you what I had posted. And if anyone can tell me if it got filled, I'm all ears. My guess is no, because of the way it fell hard. And I only gave it 7 cents less than the closing price. Oracle, Nvidia is pulling in. Oracle hit. I gave that as a call for it too. It's just counter trade. It's been an uptrend. I see it. Now this one I can guarantee you did not get filled unless volatility rose. Why? Because I only gave it a penny less than Friday's closing price. See that? So I do that on purpose so you'll only get filled on a bounce. So I can, with 99% certainty say that didn't get filled. All right, at LEU, we did a put spread on Friday and we already covered half. Let me set a new alarm. 200. 199. So that one's looking good. We only have three open trades in the credit spread department. On Amazon, we have a put spread. Um, neutral here, doing nothing. That's fine. Let me post some of these things here that it was the cyber stocks got killed last week. We stopped out of our CYBR. Let's see if all right, CCL I gave a limit. Let's see if this one got filled. It gapped under it. Yeah, so see that one, or wait, did it go under the low? 28.65. It opened. Yeah, so see that one filled. CCL. So that one's a good one. Because I gave it the same price. Wow, geez, ugly reversal here. Nvidia and Apple are and AMD are the ugliest, so you can scan semis for more call spreads. Let's even check SMH because it's usually very juicy. Yeah, I do a call spread for Friday. Let's check 290s or higher. But yeah, this is one of my favorite credit spread ones. 290 or above. Yeah, see $1.26. I think we can even try 292, 297. Yeah, 50 cents. Let's do that. And then add on a bounce. $5. That's stopped out, break even. This thing's been a dog. 282 and SMH.
That HSAI took a dive.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't trigger. I was in the week,
Mm-hmm.
so let's kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had it in that middle chart.
It's kind of erratic, but it looked like it could go up.
I'll leave my alarm, but just cancel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, our BTU was long calls. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the letter over the weekend as far as gold, like that kind of pattern for a short-term trader. I looked pretty good, like it could go up.
Sure. Yeah. Made the turn on the weekly, breakout daily. I sold puts on this thing on Friday. I was telling you all about it. Kill this one too. CCL triggered.
Nvidia come down hard.
Yeah,
Your
that's
your,
what.
your PayPal you mentioned, Dan.
Yeah,
You
that's what.
said something to me about it the other day.
Yeah, that it was getting hurt because JP Morgan is starting to charge these companies data fees.
Mm.
That's why a firm got hit. They mentioned coin and hood also in that list. Let's see. A lot of directionals hit here. I just gotta clean them up. Yeah, SPR hit too. 40-40 SPR. This is a supplier from Boeing. I think Boeing was up, had some good news. VNet, I said buy half lot of calls, but at a limit of 210. So I might have gotten filled on that pullback. Let me look. August, so probably not. But look at the monthly chart of VNet also. That looks great. I just wish it didn't run so much on Friday. $6 calls. No, we're not filled. But I'll go ahead and put my order out, tell you if I get filled. It's extended, so no reason to chase. Here's another idea. We can sell the $8 puts for Friday. Oh, without an offer, 40 cents. Oil's not going to hit. Weatherford, WTI, let's cancel that one too, but I'll keep the alarm. HP is good to go if it triggers. All right, so those are pendings. Now I just gotta post a spreadsheet. Here, this Whiskey Bravo. I think this could be a home run entry. I'm gonna nibble. Like I said, I prefer it to close like this. I'm gonna nibble. And I was bidding, didn't get filmed. It's UAVS. I mentioned Friday. Look at this strong intraday, but now it's a mess. Now I'm sold on Whiskey Bravo. Burton, let's move stuff break even. 22. Let's just okay, I already have it break even. All right, so I'll let that play out. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that it's breaking out bottom of the range to the top, but stop Friday's low is fine. Strong sector. Day trade. I don't like swinging those that come in that hard. You know that, Alex. I thought that was Robert's pick. But day trade, yeah, we got a big old void above the 20. Stabilized, sure. Sure. Oh, Greg, you mentioned XLY 5 times in the ETF, but we're already in it. I don't know if you know.
Know that
All right, but yeah, looks good. Yeah,
it's the best looking one, but it can't get out of its way.
I know, excuse me, and that's why I went on this. Well, I legged into a covered call on mine, but yeah, I'm still in it. Diamonds. I will look at diamonds for a day trade. It's not jumping out at me, Sam. What time frame and pattern are you looking at?